Like
laugh it
whatever.
off.
Yeah. Move along.
I know. Can we
Okay.
please have a little sip while my throat is getting parched here?
I'm screaming.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Say when. Hi, welcome to Wino TV. I'm Michele Hull here with Hope Hood at Applewood Winery in Warwick, New York on this beautiful day in May. The sky is blue, the sun is shining, and we are here at Applewood Winery to talk about one of our favorite wines in the blue bottle, our Riesling. I think, Hope, why don't you just start off by telling everybody a little bit about the history of the Riesling grape. While I take a sip, I'm a little parched.
Well, the Riesling grape is actually from Germany, and it's from a region in Germany that's very similar in climate to New York, the Rhine region, which is, like I said before, very similar to the Hudson Valley. Our grapes, though, come from the Finger Lakes, where it's one of the most popularly grown grapes. In New York State, there are many, many thousands of acres of this grape growing. Riesling is a really interesting grape because it's very fruity, but at the same time it can be very dry or very sweet.
Well, right.
Yeah.
I mean, Riesling is something, depending on the style of the winery or the winemaker, can start off as a very dry wine with a hint of fruit and can go all the way to the other end of the spectrum, all the way to a dessert wine, and everything in between. I think there are many wineries that will make more than one Riesling. They'll make a dry or a semi-dry and perhaps make one that's almost like a dessert wine. The great thing, though, is that Riesling is such a food-friendly wine.
Absolutely, and it's very food-friendly, especially when it falls somewhere in between very dry and very sweet.
Like ours.
And ours,
like the Applewood Riesling.
Applewood Riesling is absolutely delicious. It's nice and light-bodied. It's a semi-dry wine. It has kind of a fruity finish to it. During our Riesling Appreciation Weekend, we paired this with a variety of different foods, including a little bit of brie in a phyllo cup with an apricot chutney on top. Also, we paired this with a spicy Thai soup, and that was delicious.
Yeah, one of the things that seems to pair very well with Riesling is all the kind of Asian-inspired foods that are a little bit spicy, that have a little bit of heat to them, some Thai-inspired cuisines or fusion-inspired. Also great with seafood. What was that thing with the mussels, which was one of our most popular recipes our chef Jody had done?
Yeah, she had steamed mussels in the Riesling, so you would just add a little bit of the Riesling to the broth mixture, and it's very, very tasty. Yet another food that's delicious with Riesling is sushi, because it's very nice with seafood. If you do it with sushi and a little bit of wasabi on top, it's just so tasty.
Right, again, you have that little bit of heat from the wasabi, or you can do a wasabi-coated salmon with sesame seeds. Again, that really nice full taste from the salmon and a little bit of heat from the wasabi. Oh, and what was the other thing? The blue cheese?
Oh, yeah. We also had a blue cheese and potato tart. That's another thing about Riesling. It pairs excellent with many different kinds of cheeses, especially those richer cheeses, the moldy cheeses, with the brie, the camembert. We made a tart with a Maytag blue cheese.
Nice Stilton.
If you're looking for something a little more desserty, you might want to have a little bit of Stilton with some Riesling. But why don't we taste the Riesling and just
why don't you
tell
drink
everybody
some?
what we're tasting?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Here, I'll only pour you
a little more
to top it off. And take a sip and let's tell everybody all about it.
So I'm smelling tree fruit. I'm smelling a peachy, sort of apricot tone.
A little bit of citrusy.
There's a very slight acidity, but not too much. Other Rieslings can be very acidic, but this one is nice and light smelling.
And you really get that sort of full fruit taste right at the start, I think. The first thing that hits you is the fruit.
Almost a little bit of green apple as well, just a slight hint of like a tart quality. But then finishes nice and soft. It doesn't hang on. It's not very, very heavy.
Well, it finishes, I think, cool and dry.
Yeah, yeah. Nice and light and refreshing when the weather is hot.
Hot or when it's not.
Yeah, or any time. So yeah, this is definitely one of our most popular wines, and one of the most popular in the country. Riesling has been growing in popularity only second to Pinot Noir, which, as you all know, probably is based on that movie Sideways. If Riesling had been featured in that movie, I'm sure it would have been the most popular.
Yeah.
But we try to feature it as often as we can here, because what we find is that there are a lot of people who say, oh, I only drink reds, or I only like something dry. Riesling is just too sweet, blah, blah, blah. And we hear a lot of that.
But I think one thing that, we have started doing over the past couple of years, for example, when we had our food pairing celebration with our Riesling last week, with the different blue cheese tart and Thai soup and so on, is once you really show people, or not just show them, but actually have them taste different types of foods that really work well with a particular wine, I think it really opens up a whole new world to people. We have these fabulous cheese and wine pairing classes where one of our chefs, Suzanne Donovan, will just talk about all the different types of cheeses, of course, which there are zillions across the world, and how they pair with the different wines. And of course our food and wine pairing classes with our chef Jody, again, to just taste things that represent different areas of taste, like spicy, citrusy, whatever. Once people try a particular taste with a wine, like the Asian flavors or the spicy flavors with the Riesling, even if they weren't a Riesling fan to begin with, don't you think they will
you can at least understand where its place is. Wine is very much like a food, and Riesling is a food, in and of itself.
Right.
And it does pair with certain things. You're never going to sit down and have a Riesling, with a piece of steak. I would not advise that, but with certain foods, it's very, very tasty.
And I think once people taste what really is going to pair up nicely with a particular wine, so many of our customers will say, wow, I never would have thought, that this would go with that, or I may have never thought of drinking Riesling before, but I can see this is fantastic with this wasabi-coated salmon, and it's the perfect thing, and it really opens up a whole new world to your taste. And exactly what you said, wine or Riesling is like a food. You don't have the same food every day, or when you're planning a dinner, you want to know what side dish to put with your entree. You have to kind of think about, well, what wine would go with this too? Don't you find that?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, a lot of us do get stuck in the, I'm a dry red drinker rut, and while that's not so bad, it's very nice to come down to the tasting room and try different things. So we definitely encourage you to come down to our tasting room. We have a real variety of delicious white wines as well as apple wines.
We're all about the whole food and wine pairing thing and how they work together.
Yeah, yeah, and we just want to.
Why don't you close by saying something about the food and wine workshop?
I thought I did. Our first our first cheese and wine workshop is June 7th, featuring Suzanne pairing wines with different cheeses, and then June 21st we have Chef Jody doing a general food and wine pairing workshop. And please make your reservations now. We'd love to see you here.
Yeah, and visit us on our website, www.applewoodwinery.com, and of course, if you have any questions about the food and wine or cheese and wine workshops, feel free to give us a call, 845-988-9292,
and give Riesling a try.
Absolutely.
Cheers!